That's it. The New York Knicks are done for the 2023-2024 season, and it's heartbreaking. I have to admit, the Indiana Pacers were the better team. They were ranked 6th in the East. We were number 2, but they were the better team. They shot 69.1% or 67.1% from the field or something ridiculous like that. Like, you're just not going to be able to stop that. And it's not as though the Knicks didn't try on defense. They absolutely were trying to close out and trying to close gaps and rotating the defense and transitioning whenever possible. Indiana just couldn't miss. They couldn't miss. And while it is heartbreaking, I have to give it up to them. As much as I hate the Indiana Pacers, they were absolutely the better team, especially towards the end of this series. Knicks were up 3-2. Indiana is a tough place to play. We knew that it was going to be a really tough win in Game 6. We didn't get it. We got the L. So we got a Game 7. We have everything on our side. We have momentum. We have home court advantage. We have everybody in New York and every transplant Knicks fan saying that they're screaming up to the top of their lungs in support of this team. And it still wasn't enough. Indiana came into our building and beat the ever-loving shit out of us. And it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. I just had to hop on here real quick before the pod just to say that what a wild ride that was. This entire season, we dealt with injury after injury, and what we tried our best. This team worked hard. They played hard. They left it all on the court in Game 7. I got to give it up to them and applaud them for their efforts. Well done, New York Knickerbockers. Let's see what 2025 has in store for us. You know, people talk about what kind of moves we could make. Can we sign Donovan Mitchell? Could we trade for one of the bigger names? Is Embiid going to make his way to New York? I'll tell you this. I do not want Joel Embiid in a New York Knicks uniform. That guy showed his true colors in the first round series, and I am not at all welcoming of him to New York. We give up any one of these guys for Embiid. I'm gonna throw things at my television. It's not gonna be okay. Jalen Brunson, my guy, was the absolute foundation, backbone, and head of Voltron on this whole thing. And he played super hard up to his very last moment when he fractured his hand on what I think was a swipe on somebody going to the bucket. I've had that very same injury, swiping when somebody's going up to the bucket and you bang it on their knee or something. Breaks your hand. It hurts. You can't come back from that. The fact that he had to sit out the rest of Game 7, will not blame him one bit. You got a broken bone. That's totally excusable. Josh Hart played with a strained ab. OG Anunoby, his hamstring is all busted up. He tried his best to come in and play. I'm telling you, man, there's nothing like the heart of the New York Knicks this season. No other team in the NBA had as much heart as the New York Knickerbockers. Not a single one. Randall's out. OG's hurt. Hart is strained. Jalen breaks his hand in Game 7 of the series. And all the other countless injuries. Mitchell Robinson. It was just the cards. We were dealt bad hands, but damn it, we were going to play that hand as best as we can. And they did. They did. They played it as best as they could. They worked their asses off. And now I'm sitting here thinking, while it's heartbreaking, I am really proud of these New York Knicks. These guys, the Nova Knicks, whatever you want to call them, the New Look Knicks, they absolutely stood for everything of what New York Knicks basketball is all about. And you could see it in the eyes of all the former players who were in attendance at games, John Starks especially. doing his best impersonation of an AAU dad. Loved it. Spreewell, LJ, Starberry, even Patrick. Patrick was there clapping his hands. You almost never see Patrick out in public. He hates the public eye, but he's there supporting these Knicks because of what they were doing this season. They were doing what everybody expected them not to do. Go in there, go balls to the wall, and fight for every moment of these games. And that's what they did. Gotta hand it to him. I loved it. But alas, the season is over. The Indiana Pacers are going to go ahead and play the Boston Celtics. I am not a Boston fan, although I enjoy watching Jason Tatum play basketball. I'm hoping the Celtics beat the ever-loving shit out of the Indiana Pacers. Fuck the Pacers. That's my bitter part coming out. I am just... I'm okay. I'm okay. I'll somehow get over it. Just like I've gotten over it for the last 25, 30 years as a Knicks fan. That's just something we have to get used to. All right. We're going to head on to the show now. I got Jay Watts in the house tonight. We're going to predict and preview the third round or conference finals, Western Conference Finals, Eastern Conference Finals. We're both going to break it down as best as we can, and we're going to have some fun doing it. So let's do it. Run it. All right, we're here with Justin, Jay Waters, and Jay, you've already spoken to me about the tragedy of my Knicks, and I asked you not to express too much and just to save it for the pod, so I appreciate it. But now, if you would like to express your condolences, I'm more than happy to accept any and all, because I am quite in need.
You shouldn't listen. You should not be so. This isn't one of those losses where you guys should have won. You had a full team. There's no excuses kind of thing. Like that would be one thing where I would feel like, yeah, just shut her down for the rest of the night. But dude, you guys were on bended knee like you're an R&B group, and 4 guys got shot in the back.
I'll make love to you
Everybody
like you want me to, and I hold you tight. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm in a funk, and I just need whatever I can in order to feel better about it.
Yeah, that was Ananobi right now. When he came out, I was like, dude, this poor man. He looked like he just got out of a car accident, and they just, bandaged him up real quick with the paramedic, and they pushed him out there. 4 minutes. It was hard. Like, that's the thing. So you guys showed the whole league, like, look, we're on, our third, fourth shift team here, and we sat there and win 7 games when most teams would have folded in the first round. Probably would have lost to Philly. With that much injury, I mean, a lot of teams would have folded. So I feel like
I think a lot of teams expected us to lose to Philly. Like they didn't. Yeah. They saw that we were already hurt going into the playoffs, and they basically said, "Okay, these guys are cooked. Philly's going to take care of these guys in 6." Yeah. And what do you know? We took care of them in 6. And here's the thing. And earlier I told you off the pod. Earlier I recorded a little segment where I was just saying that I'm grateful for these Knicks, this year's Knicks. Like this is the most excited I've been about Knicks basketball for 25 years.
Wow.
Like even through the Carmelo Anthony 2010 to 2017 or whatever it was, even those times I was not as hyped as I was for this Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle team.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be the one to make excuses and say if we had been fully healthy and we would have been able to get to the Eastern Conference like that, no problem. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say that they knew they were hurt.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't give a fuck. Yeah. And they just went balls to the wall for the first and second round all the way through game 7. And that last game at MSG against Indiana, they were working their asses off, but they were just too battered, man. It was too tough. And how the fuck does a team like come into Madison Square Garden in a game 7 and shoot an NBA record 67%, 67.1%?
Yeah.
Like the NBA gods hate me and the Knicks. That's my only explanation for this. They were just the better team, and I got to give it up to them. But I hope Boston beats the shit out of them.
Yeah. I hope Boston doesn't, but I
What?
yeah, I don't know.
Why?
I mean, because I think the Pacers can give them some run. Porzingis not going to be there probably till game 3. Sometimes that takes a game or two for him. Imagine, to come back and be back in his stride that he was before. And they're
Mm,
not. I like Pritchard off the bench. He's solid. They're not. Bench doesn't like blow me out of the water at all. And if
mm.
McConnell is coming out where when he subs in, if that train is where he's keeping the foot on the gas pedal, they're they're dangerous. You saw, I mean, yes, granted, they're not always going to shoot 67%, but
No,
he comes out and
this was an anomaly, but like beyond anomalies,
yeah, I mean,
ridiculous.
everybody shot well. You're like, damn, everybody averaged up damn near 50% shooting. It's crazy. But if Halliburton plays aggressive, he has to play aggressive and has to play with, and I know, I don't know, you see it, but you don't. You got to say he needs to see it every game if they want to advance for sure. But I think it could be a nice series, especially that you're not getting your big until game 3, possibly 4, and they're
Yeah.
just deep. And they're one of the higher scoring teams, so they can score. It's if the Pacers can play
Oh
some
yeah.
defense, and we know. I mean, the Celtics can play D, but
Indiana could play defense. Like
yeah,
they're really good defensively.
they're like I heard somebody compare them like usually like your defense sparks your offense, and they're kind of that other way where like nah the offense is sparking our defense. You hit 2 or 3 shots, you're like, hey, let's get that. Let's play some defense right now because we could reel off another couple more shots. So yeah, they could that could be a nice series.
Yeah.
I don't think
Um,
Boston's just gonna cakewalk that at all, and I still don't have confidence in their overall like
yeah.
just that killer mentality. Like they're not the guy who's going back over there and the old 70s, 80s Rambo. They're not taking it. They're like, let him lay. He'll die out. They're not killing the dude. I need Tom Berenger, sniper, just letting dudes. That's what they don't have that. I don't feel like the
They
Celtics have
need
that.
Tom Berenger. We have a Tom Berenger reference.
We
Who
do.
would have thunk that on any podcast ever in the
Hey,
history of things?
that's the beauty of it here. Dashes and glasses. Beautiful place. A lot of things come in and out of our show.
Yeah.
And shout out to Tom, wherever you
That's
are, buddy. So yeah, I
I
mean,
forgot that man even existed. Good on you. Good
hey,
on you.
thank you.
Yeah, I just while you were just talking, I quickly looked up Porzingis's injury status, and
Mhm.
you're right. This week he's out. So Tuesday is when the first Eastern Conference final is. Thursday's game 2.
Ooh,
Um, he's out for sure those 2 games. Potentially back for game 3. Is he going to be the Porzingis we've known this season? I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
I mean, guys, as we've seen with the Knicks, guys have tried to come back early and it just
yeah,
didn't work,
yeah,
right? But Porzingis is absolutely the X factor with that team. If he plays well, Boston does well.
yeah,
Period.
yeah. And
Um,
he needs to be at all cylinders, I think, for them.
yeah, yeah. And man, Indiana. I knew going into the second round that Indiana was going to be a problem. A lot of people that I talked to were like, "Nah, you guys beat Indiana. It's not a problem." And I'm just like, "Gosh, man, you just don't know." Like
No,
this team, especially when they play the Knicks, it
they're
doesn't
deep.
matter which era we're in. Indiana just steps up to the point of they try to go at the throat, literally doing this
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
in the game,
huh,
and it just becomes a different series because it's New York and Indiana.
yeah,
And I, dude, they just they threw every ball up in the air tonight and sunk every single one.
39, 39 first quarter points. Finally had and I mean, once that started and they saw it go in, I think that kind of took off the game 7 veil of like, oh fuck, dude, what's up? Let's go. Like, because sometimes it is hard for teams to get in a groove, obviously, and it's a
Mhm.
game 7. Like a shit is just sitting on your fucking back is like a polar bear. Hey, what's up? Just me, game 7, just chilling here. Don't worry about me though until later. Like that's difficult, and it takes a lot for a team to shed that off. And obviously, when shots go down, that thing goes, and they just ran with it. I mean, that's hard too. But I'm telling
It,
you, I still feel like the Knicks this season, this year, there's going to be some sort of added and plus subtraction with the team, but like with the core that's there and what guys around the league know, like, oh shit, this team is a team that's they're not going to roll over, regardless with their base and who they are. They're not rolling over. And once they
yeah,
plug in the little changes that they need, and obviously you always got to have health on your side. I mean, every team who wins a championship has a little bit of the luck, like health. They had more than the other team because sometimes that's what it comes down to. Is literally health. So don't
yeah,
worry, you
and
guys have a lot. Like your stock right now is dude, put in, put there's a. I'd be a proud as a Knick fan. You could at least go through the summer now into next season. Like, don't fuck with us, man. Wait till we're healthy, man. It's gonna be problems for everybody
we're just gonna raise our Ramonamo.
all the time.
Hey,
Everybody,
Chico, you don't know about the bad guy.
you're gonna be all draped out with Knicks gear
Mm-hmm.
right there, right before,
Oh, dude, we
maybe
just
even
need to
summer league.
Photoshop
Why
that.
not? Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be league
um,
fits day one.
Also, rest in peace to Scott Hall, Razor Ramon.
Yeah, dude.
Womp womp womp.
Womp womp. Let's celebrate it. Watch him, kids. That's
Yeah,
some of the best era of
pull it
wrestling.
up on the YouTubes.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of rules. Things were wild, but like dudes were entertaining to another level.
Absolutely. Um, this these semifinal games were entertaining to say
Yeah,
the least. I
yeah.
mean, Indiana and New York was one thing, but Denver and Minnesota was basketball on bath salts.
Yeah. On bath salts.
It was just like, okay, we're gonna whoop your ass by 45. That's cool. We'll whip you by 30 the next game, and
Dude.
it'll be on your own home turf.
Yeah.
Like it was wild, 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 wild. And you know, of course I was more invested, obviously, in the Knicks and Pacers series, but watching Denver and Minnesota go at it in the way they did, and moving the ball as well as they did, I thought Denver was going to absolutely spank Minnesota. Like you watch them for the first three quarters, and it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, this is a done deal. Denver's
Yeah.
going to the Western Conference Final, and then
Yeah.
next thing you know, Anthony Edwards says,
And well, first he
just
came up not shooting well. They
yeah,
forced the ball out of his hands, double teamed him every time, and you could tell he was flustered. Even Crawford was like, "Basketball is all about a rhythm. It's all about a flow," and they're messing up his flow. Like even
yeah,
where sometimes when you get rushed and you do have the open shot for that 1 second, you haven't had it all night, and you have it, and you're like, "Ah, shit," because you're already anticipating everybody right there. So for him to, that's the positive is like for them to get through that part mentally, and then Nas Reed was gigantic. And watching the game when Cat needed to guard Joker the whole game. I mean,
yeah,
you could see the difference. I mean, even though Joker had great numbers, he shot I think 2 of 9 or maybe 3 of 10 from deep. Um,
2 of 10.
but yeah, he had. I mean, the rest of his numbers were solid rebounds, his points. I mean, his assists. But like when Nas, I mean, when Nas was playing him too, but when Carl Anthony Towns was locking up, and Carl Anthony Towns showed up today, and look, they played well.
Yes,
And he, if
that's their
again,
X factor.
yeah, and if he's doing that, and especially the next round, because first I'm thinking who would guard Denver, and if Denver, I mean, who would guard Joker if they won, and now you're looking at the matchups, and Minnesota is still big, they still play defense, and McDaniels is dude 2 games in a row. What he had 19 or plus 20 tonight. Game 6 he had plus 20. He plays defense. He's starting
Mm-hmm.
to unlock his own. And again, once those teams and they're young too, for the most part. Once they start, they got Connolly to kind of reel them in, but like once they start getting that, like, dude, we can do this. You kind of see a little bit. They beat the champs. There's gonna be that confidence
Yeah,
now. Like, hey, we knocked off the defending champs. There's no fucking reason why we can't go out there and do this. So that's
against
kind of makes them,
Dallas.
yeah, that makes them scary because I feel, yeah, I think that they can beat. they can beat Dallas. Dallas is their role players are playing well and whatnot, but now you got to guard that rotation of you got Reed is coming off your bench. Come on, man.
Yeah, dude. He's been such a monster for them, and it's phenomenal, like what he's been able to do, being the sixth man of the year and whatnot.
Yeah,
Um, and earlier I think in our text chain you made the point, or I think you made the point that they don't really have somebody. Was it Dallas doesn't have anybody to stop
Joker.
Joker?
Yeah,
Okay, so now we're talking about Cat,
yeah.
Edwards, and then Nas coming off the bench. How do you see Dallas matching up with them in a way that's going to be beneficial against those guys?
For Dallas, I don't know their guard play, but you're gonna have Jaden McDaniels probably guarding Luca to start
Hmm.
off, and then
Agreed.
Connolly will probably guard Irving. But then it's the other guys like so Gafford's gonna have to guard Towns, which I think with his effort, he has a good motor. He'll always be there. It's the thing is if Towns is gonna be like, okay, I'm a better basketball player, and I'm gonna literally put it on you. So he's
Yeah.
got to need and again we talked about him being the unlock guy. Like he needs to also push that card for them to I feel for them to move forward. But then who's I mean, I guess Rudy can float around now more. He's not going to get picked apart on the pick and roll. Hopefully he gets back on the pick and roll, but nobody's
Okay.
going to who's
So
dominating him on defense now. He could actually maybe have value.
defensive player of the year, Rudy Gobert. Um,
Can't believe you got to say the full title. It makes it sound crazy sometimes.
it sounds ridiculous. I
When
just he got exposed so many times in this last series.
he did.
And granted, it's against Joker, so like
Yeah.
guys a
Totally good.
magician on the court.
Yeah.
But like, damn,
Yeah.
like there were times when like their lineup was probably better if they pulled him
Yeah.
and then
Which I
just
would
had
yeah,
Cat play
I
the five.
put Reeves in and I mean Reed in and take him out.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that five.
absolutely.
And they're still big.
Yeah. But and I think you picked Minnesota and I picked Denver to win this series.
Yeah.
It came down to the wire, man.
It
But
did.
well done. Congratulations on your correct pick. I mean,
Listen,
you're undefeated actually, because you also picked Indiana, didn't you?
I did. I did.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I had something good. This is a good year. I remember my humble brag about the NCAA card. I want to, anyways, out of millions, top 50K. Just saying. Never done that. Probably never going to happen again. So I'm going to milk it for the full year. Uh,
Right.
but so far, I mean, super lucky because it's so hard. Like every series has a personality, and that's the part where a lot of it you can't predict it. Like we try to base off of the first game and how it felt, and you compare it to all the other kind of games we've watched and comparing first and second. But like this Timberwolves series was a wild personality, like you said. Like these dudes were off bath salts. Dudes were just back and forth. Like the first two games you're winning on other people's courts, and the battle back and forth, and to see like it fully play out, and it was kind of like these are one of those series where I was like, oh, that was a great mini series. It felt like a Netflix mini series.
Yeah,
It
it
was a
it
good
had
one.
all the drama, it had
You got personality.
all the intrigue, the personality.
Yeah, you
Oh,
had Scott
geez, man.
Foster almost blunt. Dude, today there was a couple calls that I was like, oh, here he comes. Here he comes. He wants to be a part of this show. Here he comes.
I
I
was,
tweeted
I
a couple times, dude.
yeah, he wanted to make it part of him, of course. Of
Yeah, he
course.
almost fully. He was trying though. He
Yeah,
was.
dude. And it was funny too, because like when I got home, like I said earlier, I was driving when the game was playing. So I was like trying to like listen to it while I was driving. And when I got home, I saw your text messages and it's like you just put Scott Foster with the face palm.
Here he comes.
As expected, Scott Foster's going to play a role because Scott Foster wants it to
Yeah,
happen.
it's about Scott.
Oh, Scotty, just call Tim Donaghy and go to Cancun together and just leave basketball alone. But now we have the Western and Eastern Conference Finals set. I'll let you pick, man. Which one we want to do first? Eastern Conference or Western Conference?
Um, Eastern.
Eastern.
We
Okay.
want the best for last. No offense.
Wow. Okay. We're just calling people.
I'm just saying the Western Conference is like it has been in years. It's just running faster, shooting better, looking better. I mean, it's just, it's what it is. It's always
Okay.
tough. Western
So,
Conference is always tough.
so we'll get to that. But Boston and Indiana, ugh, as much as that is distasteful to me. um, Boston's got the clear edge, right?
I mean, yeah, I think the experience, they're top heavy. I mean, they're top, they have more star power to the top. Um, I think it'll get interesting. I think if it can get to seven, that the Pacers could easily, they could take this, they could win that series. It's not completely out of the realm, but I mean, Boston has, they got their superstars. If they get Porzingis and he's doing his thing, but they're up in the series or they're right there, and he gets back and hops right into the flow, then I feel like they should, Boston should definitely win. I do like the Pacers have a little confidence, have a nice, they're deep,
Yeah, they got a chip on their shoulder, it seems
but they
like,
got to
but
play with like they have to play with that. Halliburton has to
yeah.
sometimes play the heel or whatever it is he's got to do to have that edge. And if he doesn't play with that edge, they can't. They're as far as like he can go to a certain extent. You know, he's
Hmm.
there. He's that guy, and he has to come out like with that irrational confidence a little bit. Like, hey, you know what? I could mess around, and we could win this thing. There's only two other teams that technically we have left. Obviously, we got to beat a good Boston team, but we'll see. It could be done. I mean, not going to shoot 67% every game, so they got to make sure that all the little things.
So fun fact, Boston put up 155 points on Indiana back in November.
Wow.
Beat them 155 to 104.
Gee.
That is a tremendous ass whooping. But they've gone pretty much back and forth for the rest of the games. There was one in-season tournament game. Pacers won 122 to 112. Um, January 6th, Celtics beat the Pacers 118-101. January 8th, Pacers beat the Celtics 133-131, so high scoring game that one. And
Yeah.
then January 30th was their last game. Celtics 129, Pacers 124. I feel like I feel like Indiana is going to do their best to expose Al Horford's old ass.
Yeah.
I
That's a
mean,
good
shout
point.
out to the old man playing basketball because that's
Yeah.
definitely us.
Yeah. Innocent.
But I,
Yeah.
I just feel like what I saw today is that Indiana does really well running the pick and roll with Miles Turner. Um, and I just don't see Horford being able to close that gap if he's like switching or
Yeah.
or you know getting the pick. Like I don't see them being able to recover. So if Indiana runs the pick and roll well enough and sophisticated enough, I think they'll expose Boston there. But if Porzingis comes back, that's going to be a hell of a lot more difficult. I don't think Turner's going to have an easy time in this series like he did with New York. With New
Yeah.
York, he was jumping 10 feet away from the basket and throwing it down with one hand. And it was just like, please get in front of him. Nobody would get in front of him. I just don't think that would happen with Porzingis in the middle.
Yeah.
Um, as far as Boston's strengths, I mean, Tatum's got to play big man ball.
Who's
Not like
guarding
big
Siakam?
man,
Who's
huh?
guarding Siakam on that team? Like who's starting off on Siakam? Because
I'm
that's
thinking White,
because he
Derek White.
so Siakam needs to take him to the post and start showing
De-
aggression and
Derek White's a pesky defender though. Like
but Siakam's, since he came into the league, he's opened up his bag. He's got a little turnaround,
yeah, and he was. But here's the thing: he was doing that against smaller guys in New York.
Yeah, yeah. How big's White? 6'5"?
No, 6'9", like something
Wow.
ridiculous.
6'9". And what is Siakam? Six, same thing?
Roughly 6'8", 6'9".
But Siakam's the captain now, man. He's got he's got he's got the hardware. He has the hardware and he has the experience. So as much as I like our "you'll never find a hairline like mine" um guy because he's a friend of the show, but I don't know. I think Siakam too is Siakam's got a 20 plus every game, 20 plus at least. I
Dude,
want
you kill me with this.
I want 20 plus.
Look at me. I am the captain now.
He does look like him though.
He
This is not like he
does.
looks like that actor. This isn't. We're not just saying it because don't fucking start accusing me of shit. They look alike.
I'm not accusing you of
I'm just
anything.
telling listeners, okay? Because everybody out there's got a cape on for no reason. They actually look alike. This is a comparison that makes fucking sense. We're not
It
doing
does.
the Steve Blake, Rex Chapman guys to just white dudes. So we're back. We're fact
Steve
check. Mando's
Blake.
been fact checking all day. Don't
Yeah, he's back there.
chilling.
What? Yeah, just doing his thing. Just doing his thing. I can't.
His
I can't
helmet's in
even
the
with you sometimes, Waters.
his helmet's like Siri. He activates through her. He does what he wants. He's fucking
Hey,
Mando.
Mando, how tall is Pascal Siakam? 6'8". There you
Oh,
go.
much better length though. Oh, White has I mean, pause, but he's got a long. He has like a nice
Yeah, he's. I think they'll have him on Siakam. I think, obviously Horford
Turner. Miles
on
has to.
Turner.
Miles has to put in work. He needs to put
Yeah,
in.
and I don't see, I don't see TJ McConnell having a repeat in this series as he did in the Knicks series. I just think Drew Holiday is going to be a tougher defender. No disrespect to any of the Knicks defenders, because of course I'd never do that.
Yeah, you do
Uh,
that.
but Drew is Drew is tough. But is
Oh no,
he
he's tough,
healthy?
but he's got to imagine he's staying on the floor where he's got the point guard, where he's gonna be
Yeah,
chasing Halliburton around, and then when Halliburton takes his break, that's when TJ comes in. So who's be? I mean, TJ versus Pritchard because
Rich.
Pritchard that'll be
There's
that
there's your
that's one of
Steve
my
Blake
boys
combo.
right there. Yeah, but I like McConnell, man. He pushes the rock. He plays defense. Pesky dude. He's that dude that like when you watch him and you're on the other team, you're like, fuck, he's annoying. But you're like, dude, that guy's on your team. You're like, hell yeah. I know his ass's effort is always on 100. So he could be shooting like ass. His effort's on 100. So at least I know that his rest of his game isn't compromised, because he's not shooting the ball well. But
Yeah,
and Toppin didn't. He didn't play so well. I expect more out of him coming off that bench. I expect more with him and McConnell in there. I
like
expect him.
what, as an energy guy or what?
Yeah, because I mean, I see it though. There's the flashes where he's running the floor, he's catching lobs.
Hmm.
I guess tonight maybe he was kind of pedestrian. He didn't do very well tonight.
Yeah, he only had 3 points tonight.
Yeah,
He was nowhere to be found. 15 minutes. Not
yeah,
didn't even play a lot.
yeah.
So
No,
I'm not I'm not sad that we dealt him away this season. I mean, I was kind of like bummed to see him go,
yeah.
kind of, but he's not like the end all be all of small forwards and power
No,
forwards in
no.
this
And
league.
I don't see why. I mean, his game could here. It's like an
Good.
Aaron Gordon. He has like that body type, big frame, but he's more of a jumper or whatever. I guess his game is not as polished, but there's some,
Yeah.
I don't know, there's potential. Do what you're
Yeah,
good
he's I
at.
like the way that he expanded his game to beyond the 3-point line.
Yeah, he can shoot.
Uh
Yeah,
he wasn't doing so great of a job in New York doing that, but now
yeah, that's true.
now it sounds like, or it looks like, he's doing much better. Um
Jim Carrey's not playing him though.
Jim Carrey.
He's not giving him any burn, man.
Are you talking about Rick Carlisle?
Yes, I am. Another doppelganger. You can't tell me those two don't look alike either. Put the side by side up right now. It would be
You
killing
know,
me.
it's coincidental. This morning I woke up and I turned on the TV. Cable Guy was on. And
Huh,
so I started watching that.
nice. That guy's a legend.
Cable Guy.
Cable guy. Basketball scenes were psyched to
Oh,
be
dude.
seen. Those were hilarious.
Yeah.
My,
And honestly, it's truth be told, I don't think it's Jim Carrey's best work,
no, no, yeah.
but man, the 90s, Carrey owned the
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah.
Um
Another
But now he's
generation.
coaching Indiana.
You look now now he's coaching in the end of his second life. He said, "Put the movies down. I'm gonna coach."
um, um, Joe Mazzulla, coach of the Celtics. Do you like him?
I mean, he's he's again.
I mean, if
That's
you
just
did,
like
you would just say yes, but
I mean,
there's some hesitation, it seems.
he's okay. I'm not like I'm not highly impressed. It doesn't give me the Spo feeling or
No.
some of these other coaches where you're like, oh, I like his style. I like how he coaches kind of feel. He's kind
Hmm.
of just, yeah. I mean, I know that they got the brain trust there of the GM, um, old
Brad,
coach,
Brad
yeah,
Stevens.
Stevens. He's up there in his little office in the corner. I think he's smart too. But again, I don't know. The eye test sometimes is always they're I don't know, they're just not impressive. It's not I don't know, nothing I get too excited about, but weren't they
I
saying last year
mean,
that he got out coached by Malone in the finals?
yeah.
Whoa, hello. Yeah,
Oh, we're knocking mics over.
yeah.
That's okay. I didn't pay for that one. Uh, um, yeah, I mean, with Missoula, like he's a basketball guy. He
Yeah.
played in college and the pros. Was unexpectedly pushed into the head coaching role last year. Okay. Um, I'm not sure he's a great X's and O's guy. And I feel like that when it comes down to the end of games, he kind of just sinks into the bench.
He's the
And
Homer meme. He's the Homer meme in the bush.
yeah, exactly. He's just going back into the bushes. Coincidentally, the bushes are green, just like the Celtics. But uh but like and this has nothing to do with like basketball, but the one thing that bothers the hell out of me with him is that he tries to do the Greg Popovich during the in-game interviews.
Oh,
Like he'll do this like one word answer, like I'm
oh,
too important to be doing this interview. And honestly, I'm not a fan of the in-game interviews. That's it. I think they're stupid. I think they're unnecessary. It doesn't give me
yeah.
any information that's valuable to the game at all. It's just, yeah, we just got to go out there. We
Forcing.
gotta, we just got to work hard. Our guys got
Yeah,
to work hard.
you're forcing
Yeah,
it. So he's gonna be
I get it. I get it. They're stupid, but it's something that was collectively bargained, and you
part
have
of
to
the
do it.
job. Part of the job.
So Popovich was the guy who was just like, these are stupid, and I'm going to just give 1 and 2 and 3 word answers. And it ended up being a shtick, and that people had fun with it, especially with Craig Sager, rest in peace. Uh, but Missoula, like you've been a head coach 2 years at most,
Yeah.
and you, and during those games when you've been coaching, there have been a lot of question marks about like whether you should be there because your play calling or your lack thereof has been really worrisome in a lot of circles. So when you're getting these interviews and just being a prick and trying to do the Popovich playbook,
Yeah.
like that's not a good look, man. And that's the thing that really bugs me the most about him. You know what really grinds my gears?
There.
Joe Mazzulla's in-game interviews. Just, I wish he would stop doing that. Just give some like quick analysis, two
Yeah.
questions, done. Get back to the
Yeah.
bench so you could sink into it and not do anything.
Wow. So might as well just stay with the interview. He's doing more with the interview, huh?
Yeah,
Even though it's less.
yeah, yeah. Hey, how's
Wow.
it going? This
Maybe
game is really, really tough.
we'll see this year if I mean how everything plays out because maybe them with maybe they need a different direction. Maybe they'll get more out of them because if they hit the see, I mean,
Um,
if they get out of the Eastern Conference, I don't know if they're not going to beat. I don't think who's coming out of the West, maybe, but I don't
I
know.
mean, like I thought Denver was going to come out of the West, and here I am,
Yeah,
incorrect. And
yeah,
Minnesota just showed like they have the sheer will to just
yeah,
come out on top and beat the fuck out of somebody and really take it to the rack. I'm actually so we'll get to the Western Conference final and we'll make our picks, but like Minnesota really surprised me in this series. Like really surprised me. I
yeah,
thought they were just too young and the youth was going to be, overwhelming for them and they were going to just fall apart down the stretch. They absolutely did not.
Yeah.
They were the better team and they really came together in those tight moments, in those tough end of the game moments. Dude, I gotta hand it to him. That's pretty fucking remarkable for being as young as they are.
Yeah.
And your whole take about Anthony Edwards being like young Kobe Bryant,
Oh.
I could see that now. I could see that
Oh.
now.
There we
And look at that. I'm
Vegas.
bringing up the Lakers before you even have an
Wow.
opportunity.
See, because I know that it's gonna come back full circle. They're just that good. It's just gonna come. But thanks. Thank you for that.
You're
No more
welcome.
talk, no more Laker talk. Well, he's got
Okay,
to go to the finals. He's got to get to the finals though.
he does. He
But
does.
he has, but
But
he's on the right path right now. He's in the right little. Keep going, Kimosabe. He's in the
he's
right
in
lane.
he's in the right groove.
And he didn't
Absolutely.
even shoot well today. And but you could see where his dominance, where he went on that little run and he started to score, where guys were like, "Okay, look, we gotta go. We gotta go," and it
Yeah.
worked. And that's, I mean, their defense too, So
Yeah.
it
But
is.
we skipped ahead. We didn't even talk about who we're picking in the
Oh,
Eastern Conference
oh,
final.
well, I'm gonna stick with my. I'm gonna stick with the same. Even though this is now, I don't know if I'd put money on it right now. How much money I
Oh
would put.
boy. Come
Obviously,
on. But
you want to. You
just
want to.
pretend. Let's pretend you're
Oh,
putting your
mythical
life
money.
savings down now.
Oh, life savings is.
Life savings, buddy.
This is too much, buddy. This is a
It's
lifetime
not too
movie I
much
don't want
because
to be
you
in.
don't have a lot of money. So just
Whoa, but I'm worth a hell of a lot. Got a lot
you,
of ideas.
you
People are
are
calling,
worth
telling
you're
them.
worth a hell of a lot, at least
Thank you.
50% of this podcast.
Hey, there we. Hey, I'll take it, man. I'm gonna wear it right there like a badge.
Like like some chevrons on your sleeve.
That's right. Load
Okay,
up.
who's your flippity flop pick then?
Fine. I'm gonna just stick with the direction we're going with these Pacers. Um,
Wow, you're picking Indiana.
yeah, I think if we could stretch the game, it can go to 6 or 7. If they can get to 7, they definitely have that puncher's chance. So I don't know. Because I'm not impressed with Boston. Boston does have the players. They got those 3 dudes who they're awesome. Um, but top to bottom, 1 through 8, 1 through 9 is what they're gonna run. Probably, I mean, 8 to 9 for the Pacers for sure. I just like them deeper. And if they do play with this little, confidence booster they got, they're moving along. If they kind of unlocked a little bit of what it takes for them to play at their best, I think they've kind of. I mean, you went through 2 rounds now, so you got to learn something. But I don't know. We'll see. I hope Halliburton can get nasty and just talk some shit and like use that for his own to get his team, because sometimes you got to play with that fake it till you make it, and they haven't been there. So they can't just show the fold on their face because Boston's been there before. So Boston will just eat that up. But if they come out the gate and show at least that young fighter, like, oh, this dude is punching. Oh, okay, this is going to be a series because that's what Boston, they're not the greatest when adversity comes. You know what I mean? And they haven't
Right.
had to play a team yet that's got a
That's
ton
the
of
Missoula
adversity.
effect.
Yeah. Now that's why I don't have that confidence. Not that again, I would my team to win it all would be the Pacers, but I think the Pacers have a chance to beat them. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that the Pacers, they're not my pick to win the whole thing. I'm
Oh,
saying
okay. Okay.
I'm saying though that with that little bit of confidence, that puncher's chance, I could see them. And of course I just don't like Boston as much, but I think that the Pacers are I like to see them keep going. And then lose to the eventual champs, but it'll be a nice little story build some controversy for next year's playoff because then I think the Knicks will be a little retooled. You guys have just got out of your little summer workout program, looking all yoked, looking all beach body, coming in the next season. Then that's just gonna make the playoffs next year more sweeter for you because you guys will be fully loaded. Herbie fully loaded. Just kidding. You guys won't be Herbie fully loaded. You'll be fully loaded. That would be more
Okay.
intriguing for me. But I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna roll with the Pacers.
Oh boy. That's a bold pick, sir.
I want to keep it a little spicy during the series. Make me, want to watch Boston more. Not that they're not a good team, because they're a good team. But again, it's just nothing that's been like, oh my God, I gotta. They're not on my top 3, 4, or 5 team in the playoffs to watch.
Oh, to watch.
Yeah.
So they're not entertaining, but are they effective? Like, are they good?
Yeah, but like you played what? They played Orlando? No, who they played the first round?
They played Miami in the first round.
Okay, Miami was hobbled, not a big deal. They haven't been tested yet. And then they played Cleveland,
Cleveland,
where
right?
Spider was injured. He
Right.
had his tentacles wrapped up, so that big deal, right? They beat them in
Yeah.
four,
I think
five.
Garland was injured too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, the other not Mobley, but their other center,
Jared Allen.
Jared Allen, he was out.
Yeah.
So big deal. They haven't like they haven't got through any adversity, and I don't necessarily trust them with adversity. I don't feel like they're like on the top echelon, that top tier. So I was like, I feel like because of that is they can get caught. And why not a young team with a deep bench who's like riding high right now? But again, we'll see. Because this is the personality again. It's a series of personality. So if the Pacers could come out and win one in Boston and go back to Indiana tied, and then you got the question mark of Porzingis, that could start to turn in their favor. But if they come out and they get smacked 2 games in Boston, then the mountain is gonna look like fucking Everest. But if they go out there and exchange blows, you know, they can go back to Indiana with a little more confidence. So I'm gonna go Pacers.
You're gonna go Pacers.
Oh,
Okay.
maybe in
I
Indiana.
so I wanna do something a little different than what we've done in previous prediction pods. I want to bring up the odds for these games.
Okay.
Pacers are plus 650 to win, while the Celtics are the minus 100 favorite or one minus 1,000 favorite.
Wow.
So Vegas is looking at this
Oh,
and saying
I'm
Boston
there.
is going to steamroll through these
Yeah.
guys.
Wow. But
Yeah.
that's right now. Numbers change too, of course, of course. But those guys are, they're the fucking Vegas guys for a reason. What do I know? But I've just been kicking the odds in the ass the last couple months. So
Hey, but
Vegas,
if
Byron, why
so,
not?
but so say it goes 7 games. And these odds are from BetMGM, by the way. So in the case that you're looking for odds, that's where we're getting them.
Okay.
Um, if it goes to game 7 and Pacers take it 4 out of 3, that's a plus 2,500.
Damn, for every
So
100, right?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, you're talking about a big payday if it goes 7 games.
Damn.
And yeah.
Damn, it would be nice to have some money to gamble around with.
Well,
It'd be a nice
unfortunately
stage in
for
life.
us,
Yeah. I'm right.
unfortunately for us, we live in a state that doesn't allow for online gambling or mobile gambling.
Yeah. Why are we one of
So
the last states? Come on, man. It's California. We're supposed to be leading.
seriously, we should.
What's going on?
It's it's totally a political thing, and I'm not going to get into that on this pod, not this week. But
Dude, I saw a
it's
video
just
real quick about Japan, and they
mhm.
were like showing all these advancements, and they were like, America really falling behind. You're like, no shit. They got all kind of great infrastructure, all kind of technology working to their benefits and advantage. And then out here in the Wild West, we don't give 2 fucks. But it got to make money. That's all we care about. That's all it's
In
going to happen.
America, we
Yeah.
wave the red, white, and blue.
Right now, I could just see the flag behind you
My
waving.
my spirit animal is the American bald eagle.
Wow. Spirit animal. I love it.
I'm
No,
not
but
even sure that
powerful.
crowd believes in spirit animals, actually. So I'm just
Oh, yeah, you might be
we're just
called something
spitballing
else.
here.
Yeah, you might be called something else. God forbid if you have a spirit animal.
Yeah, they look at me.
Mine's a
They say,
Bigfoot.
"I am hairy like bear."
Yes.
Oh, by the way, did you see that Jokic meme, or did you send that to me? The one where the guy's like, "This is day in the life of Nikola Jokic. Basketball
Oh,
is job."
yes. No, no. I don't know if I sent it to you, but yeah, that was funny.
That was
Like,
freaking
it's like,
hilarious,
do
dude.
I have time for the horses? No. Oh, okay.
No,
Back by horses.
Ernie Johnson's all saying, "Congratulations for winning the most valuable player." Thank you, Ernie.
Yeah.
I really don't care.
You sound dead on him too.
I do my best to do the voices, man. I just
No, that was
I put all my energy into sports podcasts
that was
for
Yogi.
whatever reason. I'm just my My career choices are really questionable. I talk
Oh
about how
no.
Joe Mazzulla's coaching
Hey,
choices are questionable. My career choices are
fuck
questionable.
that. We're living life.
We are living life.
People sit on
And
the side and dude, I'm telling you, regret is and not even like being six like you don't have to be like uber successful or whatever, but it's like you look back and look and be like everybody there's gonna happen. I mean, it slowly happens, but as you get older and older, you always look back and you're like, damn, I didn't even attempt. I didn't even try. And then that's the part that kills you. Because you could at least say, even if you did try, like, yeah, dude, I tried, I gave my best, I blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't what I want. It didn't go to the place where I wanted to go, but I was a part of the journey. I fucking did it. I don't know. I feel like that's at least something to say, even if it's quilting or playing domino, checkers, whatever you want to do. Like, fucking don't wait till you're 96 or 76 or 86 and you're like,
hey,
fuck.
I hear you, man. That's why I started the
Public service
podcast.
announcement. Dude, well, thank you.
Yeah, I'm living proof that that kind of ideology is being exercised in my
And
daily
now,
life.
and now I'm what about Bob? You're the psychiatrist. You started
I'm sailing.
I'm outside of your house. What's up? You guys ready to fit it? What up? It's Wednesday, 9:30 in the morning. Eric, got some ideas. Why don't you just text or call? No, no, no. These got to be talked about. I don't want
I,
them listening
I,
to us.
I drove 45 miles to tell you something.
Yeah,
I forgot what it was, but
yeah.
I'll kind of stick around, and if I remember, I'll let you know.
It's gonna pop back up. It's
Great.
gonna pop back up. It always does.
Okay. How did this devolve into this conversation? I still haven't made my pick for Boston
Full
and Indiana.
circle. I got India.
Woo!
Who
You
you
got
got?
Indiana. I have Boston. I looked at those odds and I was just like, yeah,
Oh, so
Boston's gonna win this one.
you went to refer a friend or what did they used to have that on with Regis to make a deal? You reached out to
Oh, phone a
a friend.
friend.
You phoned the odd makers, huh? You got your boys on the phone over there. Everybody's got sunglasses on. They're like, don't do it. We go for Boston. All right. Well, hopefully I Pacers, give me some shit talking ammo, guys. Come on. Reach that potential. I
They're
see
not
it. I see it. It's in you. Go get it.
well. Um, okay, so I'm gonna pick Boston, and we're not gonna wager on it because we can't, which is stupid. Whatever. Um,
Typically.
I'm trying to look up the odds now for uh
Mini?
for yeah,
Mini and
Matt blah, 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 the Western Conference Finals. Oh, wow. There are a lot of bets on this website. I don't even know how to read these. Okay. Well, we'll do the money line bet. Okay. So Mavericks are minus 140. No. What is this? This is the wrong. Oh, God.
oh man.
I don't know. I don't know how to do
Where
this.
are you? Where go back to what is it, Caesar's Palace? Who's the
MGM.
last one? Oh, MGM. You
Yeah.
got the commercial with dude from Curb Your Enthusiasm. I like him. He's funny.
Oh, which one? The oh yeah. Uh Jay Smooth.
Yeah, Jay Smooth.
Yeah.
Makes me want to gamble.
He's hilarious.
Super smooth.
Where are you playing from? It tells me. And I have to
Oh,
say California.
you put some other state and you sends off
Yeah,
an
I'm gonna try
location. You got the feds
putting a
outside.
different
How
state.
dare you, Eric? Inquire with that.
Ah, man. I don't know.
Hey,
We'll just make our picks.
yeah, we
And
don't
if
need
I
it.
find them, I find them. All right. So we got Dallas and we've got um Minnesota. Like I said earlier, I think Minnesota showed me some stuff that was really impressive
Yep.
and carries a whole lot of momentum going into the Eastern or the Western Conference Final. Um, I don't see Dallas really having an answer for that momentum. Do you?
No, I think that with OKC, they were able to take advantage that that they were young, but that they just seem like they're a player or two away. And I don't think that's I think with Minnesota, they're right there.
Hmm.
And I think that every series they win, it unlocks something in all of them that like, oh shit, we just knocked these dudes off. Like it unlocks another level of confidence in knowing that you beat them. Now they have, they have that confidence in the back of their head that like, hey, we can go through a seventh game series and we're fine. We can lose a game or two here or there, and like we're gonna bounce back. Because sometimes teams that obviously don't come back and don't have that bounce back, you can't. Yeah, you could be positive like we're gonna come back, we're gonna do it. But your human emotion sometimes is like, yeah, we keep saying that and nothing happens. These guys they're doing it, so I feel like that gives them that more punch. And I don't know if Dallas is playing good too, but I don't know. I don't think that they can beat them. I think Minnesota has the edge. I saw a tweet from Isaiah Thomas that was like, whoever wins this series is gonna win the title. And I thought about it.
Oh wow.
I was like, yeah, I was like, you know what? I agree with them. I think those were the two best teams that we just saw
Yeah.
play, and they went seven and they beat the defending champs. So it's like I really feel like Minnesota can. It's right there for the taking.
That's crazy to me, man. Like you took the defending champs to game 7 and
They beat them
beat
on
them
their
up in
floor.
their yeah, beat them on their floor.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
wild.
that gives you
That's wild.
that gives you that like, oh man, I'm ready to go. You're carte blanche right now. You serious? You're at the bar ordering everything. It's just everything is free right now. It's on the house. That's how they feel. And
Yeah.
I you can't blame them because I think Joker was that one, he's got that I mean maybe Luca, we'll see if he could really unlock that same type of I guess Joker effect where I think Joker's more of a willing passer and I think Luca's more of a scorer naturally.
Hmm.
Um but we'll see. But yeah, I think Minnesota's gonna take them.
No, 100%. Luca, when Luca is on the floor, he commands he commands the ball. Like,
Yeah,
and you'll see like, and I've heard this from various sources that when Luca's on the court, everybody's like, okay, I'm just going to stand around and let Luca do his thing.
yeah,
And then when he's off the court, like he's taking his break, they're all like, okay, it's my
yeah,
time to shine.
yeah,
And they really put in some good work. And that's my thing with like having superstars. Um, it just seems like it becomes too much hero ball when they're on. Like Luca, as great as he is,
yeah,
like I want to see some sort of offense run instead of him just like trying to juke somebody and taking a step back three. You
yeah,
know, like
yeah,
and as much as that might go in, like I just feel like they'd have better momentum if they ran some sort of offense and they got other people involved.
yeah,
Um, and you know, if Luke is going to have like 4 games in a row where he's just dropping 30, 40, 50 points, then maybe it's a moot point. But I just, he's never gone this deep in the playoffs. His knee is already bothering him. Then it all falls on Kyrie. And while Kyrie is great and everything, I just don't think he could carry them by himself if something happens to Luca.
yeah.
Um, so I think it's a really tough series uh for Dallas to win, although it's almost even. I found the odds, by the way.
Okay. What does
Okay,
it say?
so Dallas is plus 125, Minnesota's minus 150.
Wow.
So Minnesota's a slight favorite, but it's basically even odds.
Yeah.
So this could potentially be like a 7 game knock 'em down series if everybody stays healthy.
Yeah.
But again, if Luca's knee doesn't hold up this
Yeah.
late in the season,
Yeah.
like
I don't.
he's usually already on vacation by this time.
Yeah. They didn't make the
They've
conference
never
final.
made the
Oh,
Western Conference final.
oh
Dallas
wow.
has. Not with Luca in town.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
Well, he's gonna have to play that like that role of Joker where you're more like he's facilitating the offense is running through him, and that doesn't always mean score first. Like he really
right.
has to be tactical of like, okay, this is an opportunity where we got switched on. I got a little guy. I'm gonna go take him to the post and get a basket. Okay, next time down, he can't have any of those lulls of, oh, necessarily just like pull up jump shots where, yeah, when you're wide open is one thing, but even him making a, his little step back and not getting the greatest separation, just pulling, he's really got to be tactical to dissect. I think, to reach that fullest potential. Um, but yeah, dude, it's always the other guys because they'll take the ball out of your hands, and then what are players 3, 4, 5, and 6 doing? How are they playing? Are they knocking down threes? Can guys be effective? And so far with Minnesota, you see that. I think Nas helps him coming off the bench obviously is a plus. And then Alexander's been playing pretty well, pretty steady. Yeah, Dallas. I don't know, man. I don't think Dallas is going to be able to survive this one. I think they got their advantage with the young kids on the block and they took them out. But I think right now the momentum for Minnesota is just too tough, and that could always
Yeah,
change. I mean, again,
it could
it's
change. It
so
could change.
personal.
We didn't expect
Yeah.
Denver to lose at home by 45 points.
No, yeah, that's true. I mean,
Like if you were a betting man, you would not have bet that at
no,
all.
yeah, no, for sure. But I think Ant 2 is like there's this out of sight, out of mind of like, nah, I've never experienced not like this formula is working. And so I'm gonna ride this formula right now. And then obviously going through every series and seeing like, oh, okay, this is a little way I could adjust and move a little bit cleaner next time. Because obviously you're gonna learn from every series. That's the whole point of building up a championship run is to like gain those experiences from every round and put this round with the next round. So that's also I see that the Minnesota's just they're right there. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not. Gogurt. He had a prayer today. Oh my gosh! I was like, dude, what
He
are
had
we doing, man?
he had
Oh,
some points today. Um,
he did hit
but
some free throws.
he
I
hit
mean,
some free throws.
I'll give him his credit for that. But I think that if they don't even, they just need him to be that last man of defense at the end, run, grab rebounds, get offensive boards and putbacks, and then just do that at a high level, dude. We're good.
Yeah, I think okay, let's do some picks. I think Minnesota's gonna take this one in six.
Kind of was leaning to six, like something was saying six, six, say six.
Six, 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 six.
I was just thinking, I was like, I mean, the brilliance of Kyrie and Luca. I mean, it could obviously can go seven, but I think with the momentum of Mini, I'm with you on the six.
Yeah, yeah. I just
Mhm.
I don't see I don't see anybody coming off of Dallas's bench and being able to contend with
Yeah,
Minnesota's size and their energy and Anthony Edwards. Like
yeah,
Anthony Edwards had what I think was his first bad game
yeah,
this game,
yeah,
and he still scored 16 points. Like
yeah,
he shot like shit, but he still had that dog in him. And like we've always talked about on this podcast, having that dog in you is like so much of the battle, you know?
yeah.
And I don't like Dallas is good, but I just don't feel like Luca throwing up his hands every time he gets touched is going to be enough to really sway the series in
That's
Dallas's
yeah,
direction.
work.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
So
not
I'm
gonna.
pick I'm definitely yeah. I'm definitely um picking Minnesota in six. Maybe even five, man.
Wow,
Ah no, six.
I think it. Yeah, six would be six would be a statement. I think too, because I think that Dallas is still good. They're still playing well, and they've bought into the defensive side, so I think that'll keep them in. But yeah, six. I don't think it'll keep them all the way to seven. Mini.
I have a keen sense that Ant Edwards is gonna want to shut down Kyrie Irving. Like he's going to go hands to the floor, bring it Kyrie, and he's going to be the defensive matchup. And that's going to be fun. Like,
Or even him guarding Luca.
yeah, I mean, Luca,
If it depends who, because I see that Kyrie is usually the setup man.
yeah,
First half, second half he seems to shoot more shots. He seems to like get his going and start
yeah.
concentrating with him. So obviously it depends on how hot each one of them are. But between McDaniel's and Ant, that's harassment all day out there on the 3-point line and half court.
Yeah, PJ Washington, I think, is going to have some time on him too. Um, or I'm sorry, not PJ Washington. What's the guy's name? It doesn't matter. Jaden McDaniels. That's who I was thinking.
Yeah, and he plays
Yeah,
defense, dude, and he's starting to see that he picks his spots right. He had again 20. If he's scoring over 20, and Nas Reed's coming in off the bench and giving you 10 to 15, I mean, dude, that's 35. That's a nice little chunk from your 4 spot, I guess 3-4 spot, whatever.
yeah. All right. So we got Minnesota in 6. You're picking Indiana in. Did you say 6 or 7? I don't
Seven.
even.
Seven.
7. All right.
Yeah. There you
Indiana
go.
in
I'm
7.
giving
So you're
Boston some
thinking. You're
respect.
thinking. you're thinking Indiana's going to win in Boston. Oh, well, yeah, Boston doesn't play well in Boston. So yeah,
They're not
that
like,
actually makes sense.
we'll
Okay.
see. No Porzingis. I mean,
No
some of
Porzingis for a week. He's coming back next week.
but my whole thing too is when he comes back, it takes guys sometimes a game, 2 games. Not all guys can just hop right back into that wave pool and they're like, whoa,
Sometimes, yeah. You're
right on
right.
beat. He might come in there and be like taking hits. Like, we'll see. That's going to be crucial too, because if it takes him 2 games to get right, now you're at game 5 before he's, hitting his little stride or finally getting to a point where he looks like normal Porzingis. But he's been out for so. I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, it's been like 4 weeks now.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
I don't know. I'd still think, I still think
Kinda.
Boston's the better team.
You know,
I
I
may try to find a way to put money on it. I
yeah,
don't know.
they're better. They're definitely the better team. Um, I just think, sometimes it's the time, and at this time, the confidence for the Pacers they could keep going. It's not unheard of, but I'll ride with them. I'll put a little bit down. We'll see. We'll see. They
Okay,
have a
man.
better logo too. So,
So I think we need to do a computer club this week.
oh,
And I
yeah.
think you had mentioned to me who was who
Well,
was
that's one.
yeah. And I
I have
think that
another.
it's the same one for me,
Oh, well, I have
obviously.
another one then too.
Okay. All right, you
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay. Um, my internet dummy of the week is Stephen A. Smith for
Oh,
his list of his top 5 small guard list. Uh, he
ooh.
put like he was talking about their best playoff run. Okay, and he's naming players, the top 5. He puts AI 5, which is insanity. Um,
Oh, he
Steph,
ranked him too.
he ranked them. Steph
Okay.
4, Damian Lillard 3, Kyrie 2, and Brunson 1. And I was like, all time? I said, look, no disrespect, because Brunson, this is a great year, a great
Yeah.
run. But like, they got to get to the final before he's top 5 all time. But AI 5, this dude by himself went to the finals.
He took a
Like,
team with Eric Snow and Dikembe, like old Dikembe
yeah,
Mutombo
yeah,
to the finals.
he's 5. Uh, I mean, Steph, I think he should be high. I think he'd be higher up than Lillard. I don't know why Lillard would be 3.
Why is Lillard even on the list?
He said that when he said goodbye, like he's saying the best run, and I was like, that was a great run, but like if other guys have a run that they're in the champ, they at least got to the finals or won a finals, and you don't put them on. Hold on, I have a bigger one that's gonna flip your lid. So my question is, where's Zeke?
Right?
Where's Isaiah
Guy won
Thomas,
back-to-back championships.
dude? This dude played game 6 against the Lakers, and I mean, that dude's ankle he
Was
had a
fucked.
watermelon, and that dude, man, that's and Zeke even said something on Twitter. He was like, well, I guess I have to be like under 5'10" or something like that. He's like, I must be an extra small guard. How would the thing is
I
like,
don't know,
it's
man.
coming from Stephen A, and what makes it to me is like, come on, bro, is
I'm
that
surprised. Go ahead.
he always walks around like he's the the encyclopedia of basketball, and he knows all this stuff, and he's such a wise man and blah blah. And I'm not disregarding his knowledge of the game, but when you speak like this, it's like you missed one of your weeks of your pills, or maybe 2 days of your pills, because it doesn't make sense. It's all emotion, and like this guy is sometimes the emotion in the theatrics is just too much. And for you to miss that list and then put AI 5 and I felt like this is what ESPN's doing during the day. This is the stuff that like we have all these important games going on and they're having debates. Also, I saw another debate was of some weird one about Stephen A too about who he could score who he could score on out of 1,000 tries. Something dumb. And it's
Yeah,
like,
like
what are
and
we
you
talking about?
yeah, Arash Markazi called him out, and we were talking about that earlier
Yes,
this
that
week.
one. Yes. You're like,
Yeah.
wait, what
What are we
dude,
doing?
what are we doing? What are we doing? And it sucks because I don't know. I
Hey
mean,
man,
it's gonna
listen,
be
the
but come on.
clout runs the game now.
It's
I mean,
nuts.
clout has always run the game, but now with so much social media exposure and how things generate engagement and clicks and things now.
All up negative, right? It's all
eh,
up.
uh,
The
y-
negative gets more than everything.
yeah,
Off
and
the house. Crazy.
if you're in a position of clout, like I guess nowadays you can't really stand on your own like true opinion about stuff. Like you get something in your ear from the producer and they say, "Okay, now you got to say this and take this side." And you say some shit that sounds off the wall. Like putting Damian Lillard 2 spots above Allen Iverson and a spot
Yeah.
above Steph Curry in a playoff run. And I'm just like, how like Walt Frazier should be on that list.
I
Zeke,
mean,
Isaiah Thomas should be on that list.
dude.
Like
No, I
Dennis
mean
Johnson should be on that list.
Rondo should be. I mean Rondo. I mean, granted, he had a big three, but he was young and he orchestrated that. I mean,
Yeah, he ran those offenses.
there's something to say about that. It's just funny that these are the
Okay.
talking heads, and this is the kind of some of the stuff that we're talking about. And it's
Computer
weird.
club.
You're like, aren't people over or but then it's like there's no other thing sometimes to watch when you have your little window and it's on. But then it's
Hmm.
like that just needs, and I think it is changing. I think the whole we talked about this before, like players don't want to that's like the corporate interview, they don't
Yeah.
want a corporate interview. They're only going to give you so much. You're not, and eventually all these guys that are like this who come out here with all the hot explosion takes and they're the dude, what's Tuck Speedman from when he's on sitting there in number 6 and number 7. It's like, bro, come on, too much. All right, that's
Yeah,
fine.
I just
Stop
it
being
is
me.
too much. That's why I don't watch a lot of the the big bad network of the 4 letters
Yeah,
anymore. I mean the only value it brings to me is live NBA games, live NFL games. Like that's
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I don't I can't watch the shows anymore.
yeah.
And
I
it's
like to see
sad
if
because
he's saying anything
I mean,
important.
listen. It still has its audience, and I'm not going to
Yeah,
blame
yeah,
anybody for watching that. It's sports, like we love sports, so we
yeah, yeah,
try to consume as much sports as we can, and that's
yeah.
fine. But for
Yeah.
me, I just can't get down with that shit anymore. Like I can't stand Stephen A's hot take about this and that and how it, it's who was by the way, who was his top guard in that ranking?
Brunson
Okay,
of this year. Which if he would have threw him in 5 on some because I'm a homer and I get it, I would
yeah,
understand.
yeah.
I wouldn't even say
I would
anything.
totally get that. But even as a Knicks fan, I'm just like, why are you going to put Jalen Brunson above
One.
anybody, like any small guard that took their team to the finals and won a chip? Like
Yeah.
how? That's just
I
stupid.
like Kyrie somewhere in there, maybe not 2, but I like
No,
him
no,
in
he's
in that list.
Kyrie. 2016 Kyrie deserves all the love for
Yeah.
that
That
shit.
was a nice run. But
Yeah,
like I mean, to completely Isaiah Thomas, man, he gets fucking I don't know what the hell
he
they are
gets
accusing
so
this
much
dude of
disrespect.
back then, but yeah. I mean
He gets so
Jordan
much
and when
disrespect. People
Jordan
hate him.
yeah, and he doesn't get the love. And that dude
Eh,
was nasty. You
he
got to
was
still give
nasty.
it. You got to give it up to him. You don't have to rank him in your own mind above AI if you don't want to, for whatever reason. Like it's cool, but he has an argument for being one of the, during that era, dude, during the '90s, arguably, you
80s,
can't
90s.
tell him can't be a top 5 point guard, and you can't say Isaiah Thomas wasn't in the top 5 in between '90 and '99. Or
That list is trash. Might as well put Muggsy Bogues on it. It's so stupid.
dude,
Anyway,
crazy.
um, okay, my computer club. Paul Pierce.
Ghetto.
Oh my God. First of all, Paul Pierce is every day trying to get himself some attention.
Yeah.
He won his 2008 championship, and ever since then has wanted to convince everybody in the basketball world that he is an idol among basketball personalities, and he's not. Okay. Paul Pierce didn't win shit until KG and Ray Allen came to town.
Yeah.
And by that time,
One.
yeah, he won his one chip.
Yep.
Didn't defend it.
Oh, he holds
Matter
on
of
to
fact,
that.
they lost to the guys they beat in the year before, your Lakers, Kobe and Pau Gasol. All right.
Formula.
So since then, Paul Pierce jumped around on teams, tried to make himself look like an alpha on each of those teams. He was not. His last year in the league, he was trying to like get some love for his, his way out. And it's like, dude, you're not Kobe. You're not gonna get a farewell tour. Okay.
Draymond Green.
So yeah, just maybe sit down, stay in your lane. Okay. And then now this week you're wearing Brunson's jersey, saying that you're a Knicks guy or making it look like you're a Knicks guy. And as soon as the Knicks lost, when they put their fucking heart and soul into this game, and Jalen Brunson fractured his fucking hand trying to play defense, you're gonna
Yeah.
throw this man's jersey on the ground,
Yeah.
stomp on it a bunch of times, and we could see your fucking shadow in the film too. Like you look like you're having a tough time holding the
He's
phone.
like Mr. Potato Head Shadow.
Yeah, yeah. Like what was the point of that, bro? Like
I don't know.
what was the point of that? What point are you trying to make? That the Knicks are trash, that Jalen Brunson's trash? There's not a fucking person in the world in the basketball world that with two brain cells who would
Yeah.
agree with that. You're just up on Twitter and Instagram trying to gain clout. Again, clout,
Yeah.
the thing that runs everything. But guess what, Paul Pierce?
Yeah.
Nobody's giving you that clout because you, sir, are a one chip piece of shit. That's it.
Yeah,
Done.
I saw him try to go back. He was like, "Oh, send me any jersey. I would have stepped on it." But my thing is,
Fuck
so he
that.
got it. Did you get it?
He got sensitive from the comments and was
Yeah,
just like trying to
somebody
backtalk.
roasted him. Somebody said something. A Nick fan said something, and he got all in his feelings. That's an. I mean, I hope if that's what happened, I don't know, but if that's what happened,
Of course
that
he
shows
got in
how
his
soft he is.
feelings.
But
Because Paul Pierce is a sensitive bitch.
yeah, he's always been um just that hate, the old man, my generation was better, this kind of thing. I don't know. I've never liked his takes. I don't feel like there's a lot of he needs a hug, man. It's like, dude,
His
I
generation,
think
like he wasn't even one of the best in his generation.
no, like he gets that's the thing is like I think he hurts himself more than he helps himself because if he would just play the game, like the humble game, guys would be like, because I hear guys would be like, dude, Paul Pierce, his nickname's the truth. They're like, dude, he could hoop. He was, he was a little slower than ever, but he was a baller, and they give him this respect. But then when he starts opening his mouth like this, to me, it's like, dude, now you're just overselling yourself. You're not there. Like you were a great player, you got your records and whatever, but like and I know it's hard for this generation, the older guys to be like, hey man, you know what? The game's changed and these dudes are athletic. I'd still have a hard time. It wouldn't be a cakewalk. But I'm still Paul Pierce. So you could have your confidence. Like I still get buckets. But he just has like this I'm king of the court feel. And I hate guys who just overly
Yeah.
toot their horn and not enough like tooting of other people. That makes
Listen,
sense.
my my favorite story about Paul Pierce isn't even basketball related. I heard
Yeah.
some shit about like he used to be the guy like in school when you had your lunch, like you got your lunch from the lunchroom and you'd sit down and eat it. He'd be the guy to come up and pretend to be your friend, be like, "Hey man, let me get a bite of that cheeseburger." And it just
Yeah.
makes sense because Paul Pierce was, you know, he could jump, but he had a
Oh
little
no.
bit of stuff going on down here. Like,
You remember his high school dunk contest? Have you seen that video? Oh,
no.
you want to get a laugh? Oh, bring it up.
Okay.
You're not
We'll bring
ready.
that up.
Oh, he doesn't look good. Don't understand why you went in the dunk contest. I would have looked better doing layups, to be honest. It looked bad. Check it out.
Okay.
And he's
I'm
from
going to look that up.
California.
He's
And
from
that's the other part.
Inglewood.
Yes, that's what makes it worse. Is like I want to. There's a part of me that's like, hey man, you're from LA. I want to support you. But I would always not just that he was a Celtic fan, but he was just always had this attitude of like shit first and then compliment later. And I was like, you're not that good to be that guy. And
Yeah.
even still, It's a turn
Not
off.
that guy, pal. You are not
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah. Like I don't know, Paul. That was too much though. It was just it felt childish too. And you watch the video, you're like, I don't
Just
expect this from Paul
dumb.
Pierce. You're supposed to be a step above. But again, social
And
media
aren't you an
does a lot
analyst on
of trouble.
TV? Like,
He's on now. He's on Fox, I guess,
oh
with
fuck.
Skip Baseless.
That's
But I
just
don't know.
stupid.
I don't watch them anymore.
No,
Um,
man. He's also a computer clubber. But anyway,
yeah.
Paul Pierce, kick rocks. Don't step on jerseys
Come
of
on,
players
Paul.
who are already better than you. All right, man. That's all we got time for today. Next week, we're going to be a week into the Eastern and Western Conference Finals. We'll have some data to pull from,
Yeah.
and we'll be able to analyze the
I like
games played and
yeah.
use that information towards games to be played. Are you excited for that?
Definitely. Look at this.
It's going to be great.
It
So
is.
yeah, that'll be next week, and I'm gonna, of course, text you on Sunday and say, "Hey, man, you down to record?" And you're always gonna say yes because that's why I appreciate you, man. You always
Hey,
down for the pod.
we'll see what happens next week too. I'm going to have a dentist schedule on Saturday. Pray for
Oh, are
me.
you gonna be cotton-mouthed and everything and like,
Ho hopefully it shouldn't be that bad. We're trying to save the teeth, not extract them. Yeah.
okay, okay. Well,
So
best of luck, man.
yeah, but regardless, if I got to be throwing up gang signs and sign language in here, or even if I got to write it down on paper, go like this, we're gonna
Okay,
do it. I can mumble.
I could you can mumble. Good for you. All
Yes.
right, man. Well, that's it. Appreciate you being on the pod. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
All right, man.